Good day, fellow investors. Many requests for an Alibaba update, so here we go. I've created a framework explaining why am I long Alibaba, why I think it's a good buy at the moment. So there is investing, the upper part of this chart, and there is speculation, the lower part of this chart. I think it's an easy 2x to 10x investment over the next decade, let's say. I give it a 90% chance, and down anything can happen. It's very important to understand when it comes to investing, weighing on business. So how strong is the business that I am investing in versus the market's short-term myopic orientation on pure speculation and sentiment. This is the market, this drives views, this drives content, this drives sales. So 99% of everything is surrounded around that fear sentiment, and just 1% of real investors look at it from a real investment perspective. That's what I want to share today. If you like it, please smash that like button. So let's immediately start with the stock price. Since I think it was end of October 2020, so what is it, about 10 months, the stock is down 32%. That is a terrible performance, has been 37% down. Really terrible performance, especially when compared to the S&P 500 in the same period, so 33% up. So those that have been holding Alibaba versus index fund investors really feel bad now for the terrible underperformance. And you can see here the comparative chart with the S&P 500 going higher and higher and Alibaba going lower and lower. Negative stock performance leads to negative sentiment, even more negative arguments, and to a feeling that the world is about to end. That's a given when it comes to investing, has been often the case with many other companies. We'll later discuss also Facebook and the negative sentiment there, but currently, we are in a very negative sentiment related to Alibaba's stock. But when it comes to the stock, there is also the business, because the stock represents the business. And there is always the question, what am I as a person, as an investor, a speculator or an investor? Because an investor looks at, okay, what am I paying and what am I getting for what I paid? If we go back to the stock price of Alibaba, we can focus on the market capitalization of 576 billion at this moment. What do I get from a 576 billion price perspective? If we go back to our framework here, if we go back to the business of Alibaba, we have so many things: AliExpress, Alibaba, Taobao, Mall, Cloud, all the other businesses Alibaba is building, and Alibaba's focus is to be good over 102 years, over 3 centuries, as it was founded in 1999. And the aim is to reach 2 billion customers. After 5 years that they have reached the customer usually spends 4 times more. So if they double the customer reach, even a little bit more from the current perspective, so from 2024, if they double it, and then quadruple or even more the spending on the platform, that's what, 10x, even more in just sales. Not even mentioning all the other businesses that Alibaba has, because Alibaba is a spawner, and we've discussed in a recent video what spawning is, the investment framework that has produced the best investing results over the last decade, 15 years. Alibaba is still a cheap spawner at 500 billion market capitalization, so that's the business you are investing in. But of course, when you're investing in such a big business that aims for global domination, for 2 billion customers, there will always be issues. I can guarantee you that 100% that there will always be issues with Alibaba. The answer is, how will Alibaba deal with those issues? There will be US government pressure, European government pressure, because Alibaba is now building warehouses in Europe. And if you look at a very, very nice Wall Street Journal comparative video, how Alibaba aims to dethrone Amazon, look at the video and look at what Alibaba is doing, because that is what you own if you own Alibaba's shares. But again, there is so much sentiment, the stock is going down, there will be delisting. If it delists from New York Stock Exchange, you can just exchange it for Hong Kong Stock Exchange, so problem solved there. And you never know what will America do with China, what will China do. There will always be issues, as we are seeing with Didi recently. But then again, if you see with Didi, the stock since the IPO over 2 weeks is down just 16% on a 57 billion market capitalization. That's really nothing compared to what is the value there and what's going on. I haven't analyzed Didi. I prefer the spawner framework and not the one game business. Nevertheless, the sentiment is negative, and even Woods Ark has unloaded China tech stocks just because stocks are going down. And if we discuss this again, if Catherine Wood wants to sell her ETF, she cannot be seen holding bad performing stocks like Chinese stocks in this case. And that's the only reason why she sold, because valuations are down, the sentiment is negative, and if she wants to keep selling her ETF to people, she needs to get rid of negative sentiment stocks. This further puts pressure on the stock and creates even better opportunities for long-term investors. On Chinese crackdowns, it's the Chinese government. They want to control to a certain degree, they want to know what's going on, but the same thing is going on in the US. If we look at the investigations there, just from an investigation on the subcommittee of antitrust, it's a 450 pages report, and if I just type in Google, it is mentioned almost 2,000 times. So that is normal. With such big businesses, it's always a given. And there will be issues with Jack Ma, there will be issues. Some countries will say Alibaba is not allowed to ship items anymore here because of US pressure. There will be tensions between China and the US. That's a given, and you can always expect ups and downs there. But there will always be positive situations, there will be business fundamentals, and the key is to remember that in the short term, the market is a voting machine like ARK funds are doing, selling everything because the votes are negative, so let's get rid of that Chinese stuff so that we can focus on more exciting things, things that go up, to make more money selling our ETF. That's not just ARK, that's natural in the investment management business. But if you're that 1% of the population that invests and owns businesses, and then you might look at it from a different perspective. As Warren Buffett says, the stock market is the only store that when there is a sale, people run out of it. And that's again going on with Alibaba. The market loved it back in October and now it is hated. The key is that you see, okay, what am I owning? And I think that over the next 10 years, the stock, the business, let's talk about the business, will be 2x, maybe 4x. Over the next 15 years will be 10x the business. When the business is 10x, what do you think happens to the stock? Yes, so that's Alibaba, and you have to see, okay, how that risk and reward, there can always be issues. Everything can go down the drain. China, Cold Wars, new viruses blocking everything. You never know. The stupidity of us humans is unlimited, so always implement that also into your investing. But the key is that you understand the risk and reward and implement that into your portfolio. I feel the reward over the long term for holding Baba is very positive. That's why I hold it in my portfolios. the risk is definitely there, especially in the short term, as Catherine said, so that might give me an opportunity to buy more for my portfolios. And just on percentage of probability, if we just look at Facebook, do you remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal? I think the stock went down 40%. It was like there is no tomorrow for Facebook. Don't remember exactly the PE ratio, but it was 15 for such a big, huge mega company. So a lot of noise, and the result is now we're already 66% up, and for those that bought at the bottom, more 172% up. That's investing. Of course, sometimes things will be ugly, it will take years to do something, but that's investing. And investing by owning cheap businesses that are spawners will do good over time. And the question is, are you an investor or a speculator? If you want to know where Alibaba's stock price will go in the short term, ask Catherine Wood. I don't deal with those things. So check my spawner investment framework that we discussed last week. It's really a powerful tool for long-term investing. Thanks for watching, smash that like button, subscribe if you like the mindset, and I'll see you in the next video.